I'll read you one of my tweets, and then it would be cool
Judge.
to hear your point of view. Okay, here it goes. It's a common misconception today that prejudice of people is something bad. Prejudice is something great. Prejudice is a form of pattern recognition which has spared every human being that ever lived from a lot of harm and needless pain and suffering. It's the ability to quickly assess a situation based on past/learned events. I love it.
Okay, so you want me to judge that?
Huh?
You want me to judge that, right?
Well, do you have any comments? What do you think?
I completely agree, but I do have a specific limit on that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say like every Indian is like dirty because you've seen like a video of like an Indian food vendor who's like touching food with his hand, right? You can't assume that because it's false.
Mm-hmm.
You can't assume that every Pakistani is a pious, hella Muslim person because you've seen like most of the time when you see them, they're like at like Muslim rallies,
Yeah.
or like debating somewhere, and you can't assume this or that. I feel like at that point that's where it ends.
But you're saying it's bad.
I'm saying that it's okay. It's not very good. It's not very effective, basically, because at that point it loses its effectivity because there's so much variety because there's such a large population. In the situations where you're mentioning, the pattern recognition is good.
Yeah.
Because you recognize this person might have, let's say, it's obviously much more different, but let's say somebody's dark skin, somebody's light skin, and they're in America, and it's like in the 1700s. For some reason, both of you guys are naked. If you were to see another white person, you'd assume, oh, you're safe. If you'd see somebody who's of darker skin, you'd assume that they're a Native American and that they're gonna scalp you. So because of that, that pattern recognition is good.
Oh, this was before there were many Africans there, you mean?
This is before the white people took down the forests, invited the Africans over, and established their nation. Yes,
yeah.
This is when they first landed.
The only people with more melanin would be the Native Americans.
Essentially.
Yeah.
So in like situations where it's survival or death, it's quite useful. In more civilized situations, it's not as useful, but you can still judge to a certain degree. And
although you could argue that modern society has a lot of danger as well.
Yes. For example, women, right? If they see a man on the road in the middle of the night, let's be honest, they're not dangerous. The man's not dangerous. However,
depends where and when.
I mean, obviously, if you're in an alleyway in the middle of the night and you're like wearing skimpy clothes, obviously you're much more likely to get targeted. But I mean, like if you're just walking down the street and you see a man there, a woman would just get like a bit more nervous or a bit more anxious, right?
Yeah.
And that's like pattern recognition. There's no reason to assume that this man is a bad person whatsoever. However, due to certain trends, as well as the man's capacity to be able to do harm, it's fine. It's good. It's like a good thing to have like the ability to recognize. And yeah, the man might, if the man knew that she like thought of him as a threat, he might feel sad, right? He's like, just walking. But like,
right.
That's like a necessary evil.
It's not personal.
Yeah, it's not personal.
Yeah.
It's a necessary evil at that point.
Right. Because the extension of that tweet is that I continue. Now, if the individual in question, over an extended period of time, and in a low-risk scenario, were to exhibit behavior that is dissimilar from their chosen or assigned group identity, that could be grounds for reevaluating one's image of them. So if they're different from the group over an extended period of time, if we take this example with the male, so if you're a woman and you've seen this male around, he's been in your friend group or in your class or something, and you've seen that, okay, he's like harmless, and you've seen him for 1 year now of classes, then you know that might be grounds for reevaluating your image of him. Maybe he's a bit more safe than the average male, for example.
That is true.
Yeah, I'll just turn on the lights.
Oh yeah, sure. Another example would have to be like, you don't even have to get that like intense.
I just realized it's champagne on the floor.
Oh, that sucks.
Go ahead.
It doesn't even have to be like somebody within their friend group or their study group or anything like that. For example, if somebody's like walking down the street again, but she sees the dude. However, like let's just say she gets back home at 11 in the evening, right?
Yeah.
So like 23 hours on a Tuesday every night because of work reasons or due to one reason or another. She almost always goes home at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Then almost all the time she sees the same dude walking past. She's seen him enough times. She knows he's not dangerous.
Yeah.
At that point, you're just like, oh, he's there. Okay. And it
Yeah.
would be a peculiarity if he wasn't there. You'd be like, oh, he's not here today. All right.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't see him as dangerous anymore because, you've passed by him a bunch of times. He's safe.
Yes. Yes.
So it doesn't even have to be that intimate. But yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know the second half. My bad. I went off on a rant.
No, you're good. You're good. It was a valid argument, but I don't know. It's just so easy today to kind of go with this preconceived opinions that you're supposed to have. You're supposed to be in possession of this opinion that prejudice is something bad, and that's so easy. It's like food that's already chewed for you, except it's opinions, and you're just supposed to swallow it.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, things are usually there for a reason, and
I know.
yeah.
I think when it comes to this topic, I'd have to just answer. It's not that deep. You know?
Yeah, it's not that deep. Yeah.
Should I pick it up or should I leave it down there?
Alright, fine.
I hope you enjoyed that clip of the HH podcast. If you want to see another clip, click here, down to your left. And if you want to see the whole unedited episode, click down here to your right. And last but not least, if you want to subscribe, you can do so here in the middle. Thank you.